Now let's move on to NHL. There's definitely some interesting stuff in NHL. Again, 7 games. There are 5 that had overnight lines, 2 that did not. So I have absolutely nothing to say about the 2 that did not have overnight lines, although yesterday I friggin' wish I had, because I would have been on Calgary with you. I was. And, a lot of people can say that they were on this and they were on that. But I said this in the Donnie Rightside show. You can go watch it. I was like, Donnie, I'm on the over in the Toronto game, first period 1.5, and full game 6.5. And I was like, Calgary's the right side. So let's look at the first one that's interesting to me, Ottawa at Vancouver, right? I'm thinking that I'm not quite understanding. Ottawa obviously has some injuries, right? They're bringing up some youngsters to take the place of those guys. Sometimes those youngsters can come up and be lights out, but I'm just not quite sure why Vancouver isn't being given more respect here on the line. Feels like they should be at least a little bit of a favorite. Am I wrong here, Jim?
You're right.
Okay.
And the reason why they are not given the respect is because they have all the pundits believe that the Canucks will be the worst team in the NHL this year, or the second worst team in the NHL. I see it a little differently, and I agree with you that we have value here. Now, I need to be so cautious because I'm from Vancouver.
Mm-hmm.
The Canucks are my team, and I have to really watch how I gamble with them.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is an excellent spot for the Canucks. Oduya and Carlson are hurt. They're the top 2 D-men on the Senators. And our team, this Canucks team, only will win if the Sedins are third-line players. We need Sutter to be a monster. We need Horvat to be a first-line centerman. And Sutter plays such a tough game. He has injury problems all year long. I am absolutely with you. I think there's a lot of value on the Canucks at home. They have hope at the start of the season, and I am making the Vancouver Canucks an official pick.
Really? Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm just not exactly. Yeah, I guess that would answer the question why there's such a where they're not getting respect here is the general media opinion of them is down, which might be accurate long term, but in this spot, so you're going to make this official on the money line?
This will be an official money line pick.
All right.
I'm 5-9. I'm hanging in the black by a thread.
Yes.
And I'm nervous about keeping it rolling, and I'm nervous about my home squad taking up the slack for me.
Well, -105 is the best line that we can give you right now, which is a very nice line there. I'll think about that one. I'm probably going to go on that one as well. What's your take on Vancouver offensively? Do you think they're the kind of team that's going to be able to cover puck lines like this, or do you think we're going to see a lot of 1-goal wins from them?
I think we're going to see a lot of 1-goal wins from them. The Sedins are going to be 40 to 50-point scores. And then the big issue in Vancouver is that we're still giving them first-line power play time. And it might be the spot to let Horvat and Sutter be out there in those situations. I think they're going to struggle offensively all year long. Horvat is a good centerman. He wins faceoffs and he's a tough guy, but I don't think he'll ever be an 80-point scorer. There is nobody on this team. I predict that nobody on this team scores 60 points this year in the NHL.
That's not a very nice prediction for betting purposes, but yes, I think I'm agreeing with you. Feels to me like they should be at least a little bit of a favorite here. Power play scoring has been a huge negative for the Canucks for a long time, but in the young season, it looks like maybe they'll make an improvement in that area. So, all right, Jim's on it officially. I'm probably going to be on that officially as well. I just have to let it digest a little bit. Another game that's interesting is let's see it. Where the hell is it? The Predators, right? They are winless so far this year. Now they come home against Philly, and Philly, of course, a young team that has picked it up. I actually cashed with them in their first game of the year as a road underdog. Now, Nashville obviously was a pretty solid favorite to start in the -150s. Philly's taking some money, which I can understand. Now they're down into the -130s. Feels to me, though, like this is a good spot to take Nashville. The question is just, is there something wrong with it? I mean, maybe, you see this a lot. Teams that have a shortened offseason and then lose some players to free agency, come back, and after a great year are way worse than what they were the year before. Maybe that's the case with Nashville. Long term, I don't know, but feels like it's a nice spot for them. Feels like Becca Rene is going to have a good game, and feels like Nashville's going to get the win. Is -133 too high of a price to pay for them? I don't think so. What do you think, Jim?
It's tough.
Yes.
It's very tough spot. Rene did not look good in the opener, allowing 4 goals, but I agree with you. He should bounce back. He is a good goalie. Philly has looked really good this year. They are rolling 4 lines. And as you guys know, I am not a Steve Mason fan. I think Brian Elliott is an upgrade. maybe a small upgrade, but I do believe he's an upgrade. He's 2-0 in this young season. He was not in goal when they lost. This is a big spot for the Preds. 0-2 to start the season, being outscored 8-3 home opener. They were shut out by a Penguins team who had allowed 15 goals in 2 games. The jury is out. They're going to be a good team this year.
Mm-hmm.
But for how long will it take them? I agree with you exactly. The short off season, I did not like the moves they made. I'm going to lay off this game. The jury is out on these Preds. I'm sure by the end of the year they'll be playing well. Philadelphia looks good right now, and it's a tough spot.
What about the Preds team total over? So in case Philadelphia rolls 4 lines and Renee has another bad game and they lose, but the Preds manage to score 3 goals, you still win. What do you think about that one? You think their offense is questionable right now?
Their first line I expected them to be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely awesome. I've always been a Ryan Johansson fan. Arvidsson looks like the real deal. I'm shocked that they've scored 3 goals in 2 games. The breakout has to be coming.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, Jim the Bag. All right, I don't know what I'm going to think of what I'm going to do with that one, but let's move on. Some other interesting games on the hockey card. Let me just hold on. Let me just find it. Let's see, what else do we have? We have Dallas against Detroit. Obviously, Detroit playing some young guys and getting some nice production out of them. Dallas, again, they haven't gotten results in the win-loss column, but their advanced analytics are looking pretty good. They're playing very well. Again, they're a big favorite, not a huge favorite though, not one of these minus 230 lines, just minus 150s, minus 160s. What's your take on this one? Do you think Dallas gets a win here?
Ken Hitchcock, second tour of duty with the Stars, he claims, quote unquote, he claims that this was this was the start they were hoping for based on analytics. Something that Hitchcock has not been around for most of his NHL life. That was a strange quote. They've not looked very good, and I've been so impressed with the Wings. Now, the Stars, that opening, my biggest loss so far in NHL season was taking them to defeat Vegas.
But Bishop also had to leave that game, exactly. And so you got unlucky there. That doesn't mean that taking them at minus 230 was a good bet, because quirky things happen, and that's why you can get burned when you take a big bet. You did get some bad breaks there. Yeah.
And Bishop is back.
Right.
And Bishop is a good goalie, and he's got a new team, and I believe in Bishop. I think he's going to have a good year. But this Detroit Red Wings team, I need to study them. Mm-hmm. This is not your dad's Red Wings. Mm-hmm. 212 second rounder Martin Ferk is leading their forwards in scoring. And then 6'5", 2013 first rounder Anthony Mantha is also tied for. These are players that I don't have a long history with, that I need to study. I love the Trevor Daley pickup. Their defense looks good. Robinson Yepes was on Detroit at the beginning of the year, and I kind of steered him away from them, and it was a mistake, and I apologize. They're clearly a better team than I expected them to be. How good, the jury is out. Dallas has to start winning soon.
Yeah, and the Red Wings also look pretty good in the preseason as well, which was a sort of an indication that things might not be as bad for them in the regular season. So yeah, that's an interesting one. What do you expect from Bishop here? Because I was thinking maybe a shot with the over at 5.5, unless you think that Bishop's going to have a great lights out game. He can be scored on though, right?
He can be scored on. Jimmy Howard looks really good. I didn't even think he was locked as the number 1 goaltender, and he looks really good to start this young season. I would be afraid to take any offense from Dallas Stars in my action, because they have not proved that they're capable of it yet. I took them to miss the playoffs at the start of the year as one of my futures bets at plus 500. They're a top-heavy team, and now the top isn't scoring. I've never liked Jamie Benn off the ice, and that affects me, and I don't want that to get in my head when I'm gambling. And he's a BC. He's from my home province as well. This team has not proven that they can score yet. And until they do, I will not put money on their offense.
Okay, and then the Vegas playing Arizona in their home opener. Of course, they already played in Arizona last game. Arizona won a low-scoring game there, 2-1. Now they're back in Vegas. home opener, very emotionally charged game here. The lines are close to being even. Vegas's first two games were very low scoring. I'm thinking that we might see a sneaky high scoring game here. Maybe we'll see an over. What's your take on Arizona Vegas, if any?
Well, clearly this is going to be a very emotional night.
Very emotional
in Vegas. Vegas D-man Nate Schmidt was going to go to the concert and didn't get out of dinner in time. Derek Englund, who I've been extremely impressed with in the last couple of years. I thought he was just a ruffian, who wasn't going to be able to be a top 4 defenseman. He actually played for the Las Vegas Wranglers in the ECHL from 2003 to 2005. He's lived there for the last 14 years. He had friends at the concert. He had friends that were among the first responders. This is going to be such an emotionally charged night. Sports brings people together, and I believe that the Vegas hockey team will play at the top of at the peak performance. I think they will play so well. They will hit harder. They will skate faster. And I'm taking Vegas to win.
Yeah, and maybe Arizona's going to be like, all right, we already beat these guys on our home ice. This is their home opener. Very emotional game. What, are we going to go in here and beat them on their home ice in their first game? Arizona might subconsciously just hand the game to Vegas anyway.
That's such an interesting take. And
I mean, that's how, when we're handicapping, we have to approach all factors, even the factors that might make us a little bit uncomfortable. And, that's just how things might go. You know what I mean?
It's such an interesting take. And I didn't think of it from Arizona's side. I'm going to make Vegas an official pick on the money line. And I'm so thankful to be in the sports business and to have anything to do with sports, because it just brings people together and makes people happy. And I'm so thankful that Vegas has a home opener, put smiles on people's faces, and for the city to feel good.
As opposed to religion, which makes people hate each other and slaughter each other en masse, right? Sports, much, much better than religion. You know what I mean? People say that, religion is the opium of mass, or the sports. Well, yeah, you're right. Sports brings people together. No one kills each other. Well, once in a while you hear a story about a guy who shoots his wife because his team lost, but that's once a decade. There are stories like that, Jim.
Yeah, there are some trampling at soccer stadiums.
Yes, right.
But other than that,
but in general, right, compared to religion, it's no contest in terms of the slaughter and destruction that has been wrought upon humanity. All right,
what is my best line?
For Vegas, -109. No, -108. -108. Bet online and sportsbetting.ag. And again, I'm thinking about going on this with you. Again, though, it's when you're betting puck lines or money lines, you're looking into volatility. Vegas has played very low scoring games so far. Do they have an offense that can break out and be reliably be relied on to get a 2-goal win? Or
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, I think all their games will be really close, and I think that truly we could take advantage of a few wins early in the season, and then we should start fading them very often. Their roster is not capable of continued success. But here, this is such an emotionally charged night. I mean, I don't think any team could stand in the way of them this evening.
Right. All right. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to be a little bit risky here. I'm going to take both Vancouver and Vegas, but I am going to take them on the -1 lines, not the -1.5, but I am going to take them on the -1 lines. We'll see how it turns out. You can easily get burned. I took Tampa Bay last night. I like the team total over which cashed. I like them on the -1, so I got to push. I didn't get but I'll take it here anyway. I'll just see, because if one of them does cash, then you get 2 units. For Vancouver, the money line part of that one is -105, and the puck line part of that is +281. And for Vegas, the money line part of that is -108, and the puck line part of that is +264. All right, and that is at Pinnacle. Yeah, I'm kind of liking I like the Vancouver puck line a little bit more than the Vegas puck line. I agree with you, but we'll see. It's uncertain how this is all gonna shake out. And then we also have Columbus against Carolina. Of course, Columbus, a team that we know has some great talent when they're on, but they did lose their last game, so they can collapse. And then the Canes, Carolina has some bright future there. Some really exciting, interesting young players. Bobrovsky is I believe supposed to be in goal for Columbus. I might be leaning over here, even though he's obviously a phenomenal goalie. You have anything to say about this one? An interesting matchup.
It's a very interesting matchup, and I've been leaning in Carolina's direction all last night and this morning, and after we talk it out, I will make a decision on whether I will put my money down on them. The Jackets looked really good, defeating the Isles 5-0, and then looked really bad on the road, losing 5-1. Tortorella was concerned that the Jackets weren't physical enough. I don't know why you trade Sayad for Panarin when you know you need to be physical in the Metropolitan Division. The Canes are a team with a lot of young talent, and I wish they played in a better market where people cared. They are a very exciting young team with a really exciting young defense. I want to take the Canes in this game, and I was a little concerned about the odds.
Yes. Small favorite. I'm going to pass on this one. It's a total pass for me, but you may have an edge here, Jim. If you see something, you're gonna pass on this one or give a pick here.
Well, what is the best line?
You can think about it. For the Canes, the best line would be -124 at bookmaker, BetDSI, BetOnline, SportsBetting.ag.
You know, They beat the Wild 5-4 in their home opener. They're fresh. I mean, they've only played one game. They should be ready to go. This should be a good spot for them. Columbus did not look good on the road already this year. I'm going to take Carolina at -124.
All right, -124 at a bunch of places. Bookmaker, BetDSI, BetOnline, SportsBetting.ag. That's even better than what Five Dimes has. So nice line there. All right, and then the two games that didn't have lines, overnight lines, which I didn't look at all. St. Louis and the Rangers, Chicago and Montreal. You have anything to say about either of those, Jim?
Yeah, I got both games. I'm not going to make an official pick on either of those games, but I looked at both games. I loved what Lundqvist has done in the early part of the season. He allows 5 goals in the first period versus the Leafs, and the guy's got a lot of heart and comes back with a giant bounce-back game, shutting out the Habs 2-0. When we did our first last Wednesday, I said, is Mike Zibanejad a number 1 centerman? And 4 goals in 3 games, the guy looks really good. But the Rangers don't look very good as a team. I don't know why they traded Stepan. Blues are 3-0 after completing a second-half comeback, beating the Isles in Brooklyn last night, 3-2 shootout. They had 2-goal leads versus both the Islanders and the Penguins, and so they've conceded now 6 goals. Sorry, I said that wrong. They didn't come back. They were up 2-0 over that. So they've allowed 6 goals in the third period, and that's uncomforting. It's going to be an interesting game because Jake Allen is not starting. The 31-year-old Carter Hutton gets a start for the Blues, and he's got a great story, undrafted late bloomer, and he's earned every right to be in the NHL. He's not a backup that would be an automatic fade like some of them are. He's 46, 32, and 14. He's a .910 save percentage. And last year with the Blues, it had to help playing under Martin Brodeur's watchful eye. But I do think that having Hutton, I mean, you obviously, if you're going to bet on the Blues, you want Jake Allen in goal. He's looked awesome so far this year. And having Hutton in on the road, I mean, this looks like a nice spot for the Rangers, but I don't trust them as a team, and I'm going to watch.
Yeah, I kind of like St. Louis. They're playing a lot faster pace this year, and I think that's a nice improvement for them. So my first thought is maybe St. Louis as an underdog, but again, no overnight line, so I haven't even looked at it. So I'm not going to be able to give a pick on this one. Although again, God, I'm so frustrated because I looked at the freaking Calgary game last night, and I was like, oh man, that's the right side. That's so the right side. And I told Donnie right side that. All right, that's the last time I'm going to say that. All right, and then Chicago Montreal. You have anything to say about that one?
Yeah, I took a lot of heat for saying that the Habs would be bad this year. Now,
I thought that was like sort of generally understood that they have the same kind of team as always, which is Carey Price, awesome, and then questions the rest of the lineup.
I think it was generally understood too. But I'm from Canada, and we have an enormous amount of Habs fans, and I took a lot of heat online, and then I bet against them in the first game, and that's their only win this year. But I took a lot of heat. They have scored 1 even strength goal in 3 games, 1 goal total in 2 games. The Blackhawks have scored 18 goals in 3 games. I think this is now we've seen back-to-backs be tough so far in the early part of the year for hockey teams. They're not used to them. But Corey Crawford gets the start in his hometown. He's looked awesome this year, 2 goals in 2 starts with a .968 save percentage. If this wasn't a back-to-back for the Blackhawks, I would hammer them. And what are the odds right now
for the Blackhawks?
Yeah.
Best line would be +111 at BetDSI.
plus 111. I'm not going to take teams on the second half of a back-to-back early in the year. I think that this is a great spot for Chicago, but this should be a good spot for Montreal with the tired team. That was a very intense game last night in Toronto. Austin Matthews with the overtime winner. The Maple Leafs to me are far superior than the Habs this year.
All right.
I'm going to lay off it.
Okay, so let's sum up. So your picks I have here: Carolina money line, Vancouver money line, and Vegas money line. And I'm on Vancouver -1 and Vegas -1. Is there anything that I'm missing here? From you have just three picks, right?
No, I have the over 7.5 on the Nationals Cubs.
Right. No, but then in baseball, we're going head to head. All right. And then just very quickly, I'm thinking about just leans that I have. I'm thinking about the over in Detroit, Dallas. I feel like Detroit will score a few, and Dallas should come into their own, and some of those shots on goals should go in. I know Jimmy Howard has been playing well. Do you have anything to do? Any guidance for me on taking a shot with the over 5.5 in Detroit, Dallas?
Yeah, I do. I think I would lean towards only taking Dallas's over.
Mm-hmm. Right, except there's 3.5 on the team total over, which is a little bit at dog money, but it's a little bit steep there.
No,
it's a 3.5 plus 137.
That's too difficult.
You don't trust Detroit to come in and throw on a couple?
I don't, and the reason why I'm saying that is Hitchcock is a defensive-minded coach.
Right. Yes.
He drives his forwards, offensive-minded forwards, absolutely crazy. So far in the early part of the year, they haven't been scoring, but they haven't been allowing many goals. Bishop is an upgrade in goal.
All right, I'll keep it simple today. I'll just do the two big dog -1 lines that I do have. Hopefully, at least one of them will win, and then I'll be fine. Jim the Bag has 3 different money lines, and hopefully 2 of those will win, and you'll come out positively. Or really, maybe, hopefully, all 3 of them win, and then you'll come here and sitting with a huge smile on your face tomorrow.